What up, what up, what up? Good morning, y'all. Good morning, good morning. You know I be on it. Morning convo. This morning, we gonna chop it up. Yeah, I'm about to put the wrong password on my shit. Get everybody in here, tag the world. See if I can get some things shaking. Quick access. What up, what up, what up? Tag the room. Today we gonna talk about a couple topics. We gonna get to it. Trying to run it while my computer working so slow this morning, just be crazy. Some music while we rocking. Get to this morning convo. Get back to it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times back in the day, you see me up early. But this morning convo is about, we're going to listen to this audio from Gully TV and the breakdown of the business of music and how he feel about how it's cutthroat. And if you're a genuine person or a good person in this game or in the business of what's going on in the world, how it's not, this not the game for you. So we're going to talk about that. And the second part, which we'll spend a good section on, which is the most important part of the conversation that I was going to have today, is last week I went on about, talking spiritually about women, but today was the day where y'all get to see was we're going to talk about why men are responsible for the downfall of women mentally, spiritually, visually, in all aspects. And I'm going to show how men are responsible. Hey, Lots, can you take Lala out? And we're going to talk about that today. So those are the main topics that we're going to get on. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I can post this shit in the feed. Give me a second. But we're going to start with this audio. Good morning, good morning. I'm going to post the topic in the feed, but we're going to listen to breath. So the Wallow and Gilly and Tony the Closer fell out, right? So when I'm using this audio, when he's talking about the business, because he's talking about why Tony and them fell out, and he was like, he felt like he was a genuine guy, but he should know better in his business. So let's start there and we'll break and intervene in that.
It don't even matter where we from. Y'all got 1,000 fucking locations. I'm just saying, if he not with the squad, this is how Gilly and Wallow move shit. They could care less on how they feel. Seriously. If you were owed something, pimp, you should have been trying to get it along the way, because the guys that you're dealing with, they do not have no empathy and shit. You seen what happened Devin Wade eerily. Tony the Closer's complaints kind of sounded similar to some of the things that Devin Wade was saying. I do know this. I'm not saying that they did anything to anybody, but A lot of the people who have done business with them with the $1 million worth of game show, they not really around anymore. Shit.
So in his business, he already letting you know, and not specifically picking on Gilly and them at all, but just saying in the aspect of most of the time when we doing business amongst each other, we're really in a predatorial business amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? As people, you know what I'm saying? We really be in a lot of shows, whether if it's music labels or podcasts. If you notice, people falling out left and right, they falling out left and right because the ability to be able to do business ain't really there. It's more like you brought in for a reason. So if somebody come to you and be like, yo, I want you to come to my podcast, I got this and that. 9 times out of 10, you offer something that they want. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, they might got the platform and everything running through their avenues, so they in control. So you have to, in today's time, you're going to have to be a controller, as what he going to break down.
He said, yeah, but most to all entertainment is shiesty. They're not going to be more shiesty than two niggas that run together.
Business shiesty.
Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get the notification. Be in your own right and shit. I think a lot of people stunt their own growth by doing that, putting emphasis on getting signed or being down with somebody and shit like that. That's not what it is anymore.
He said he think people stunt their own growth for just in the aspect of trying to be down, be a part of the group, taking record deals. You know what I'm saying? We think as people as artists in whatever business or whatever thing we in, we think by doing certain things or getting down with certain crews gonna benefit us, when really at the end of the day it really don't. You know what I'm saying? It really don't. But we feel like we need that acceptance. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, you gotta be self-made, period. Alright. He grew up in North Philly until 13. Then he moved to North Carolina. So most of his life probably was spent in the South. That's why he talked like he's from the South. Right?
They talk about Tony the Closer.
That's why he talk like he's from the South. Okay, yeah. They look at him like he's from the fucking South. He's not a Philly. They like, man, that nigga not from Philly, man. They don't care. They don't give a fuck about nothing. They talking about, hey, Tony, I hope you...
So meaning you go get this record deal, or we using music as an example. You go get this deal, or you go sign this bag for whatever you do modeling, you get down with this organization. I don't give a fuck how talented you are. If it's two people, like two brothers or two family members or two street niggas that started this shit, nobody more important than them two. I don't give a fuck who you is, how much money, if one of them do you wrong or not. In this business, nobody give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So he's asking where Tony the Closer from, because it's like, he's from Philly, but he grew up in North Carolina. And the reason why he make this point is that, you know, rather where you come from, like everybody in the world, when certain states feel like they the shit, and everybody outside of that is fuck niggas. Or certain sides, like it be like that with sides of town too.
You're able to move on, man. You got your own money. If you have any aspirations on doing media or anything like that, go ahead and get busy. Like, don't be standing around waiting on anybody.
So go back in the day, we go back 10, 12 years ago, and to now, let's say like 7, 8 years ago, where everybody thought, what a word around the street was, hey, bruh, think, like, bruh doing this, like, who cares, bruh out here talking about he mixing, mastering, and all of this, he rap, it's because we ain't supposed to be sitting around waiting for this bullshit, and that's what's happening. We sitting around waiting, and at the end of the day, like bruh said, you gotta be self-made today. And being self-made, you have to go through a process. You don't start off self-made. 90% of most of the arguments that I've had is motherfuckers talking they self-made but haven't even been in the game long enough to establish they self. Establish a sound, establish, you know what I'm saying, a following, establish certain things that make you self-sufficient. Because nobody just starts off self-sufficient unless you came in the game with money, but even then your money wasn't self-made or self-sufficient.
Yeah, his formative years in the South. He a North Carolina nigga. He said they backdoored him.
What up?
North Philly niggas extremely grimy. South Philly mob type. West Philly fly pretty boys. That kind of sounds about correct.
about right.
He said Gully linked up with Tony. For what? He's not in the hip hop, sports, or fashion. What is it that he do? It's a lot of people that be around this shit that might not even be a necessary component. You know what I'm saying? And I know that to be true with people who got money.
See, that's another aspect I wanted to bring out this morning. A lot of people, right? So people tell me all the time, like, bro, you should link with this person or this person. You know what I'm saying? It could be like 7 or 8 of us who got good minds who be on live or doing shit positivity or history. And a lot of times people be like he live right now, and they like, yo, why don't you get up with bro? Why don't you bring him in on yours? And he like, for what? You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing against him, but what do we do? What do you bring? Because we could all be talking information. For example, we could all talk history, but we could all be pushing different agendas. You know what I'm saying? We could all have different goals, different expressions. So we would be more in each other's way than helping each other sometime, unless we sit down first and talk for a couple of weeks and really figured out what we had alike and what we can push that wouldn't cause confusion and controversy, as far as like that would hurt more than it'll help. You know what I mean? So a lot of times we got to realize that the public or people or want to be in the same space, but the question is why? Do you want to be on the same record with a nigga because you genuinely like his music and you want to feature from this person? Or is it that you don't care about his music, but you know he give views or her? You know what I'm saying? Or you don't give a fuck about none of that, but this person, like, in all businesses, the person wants to come up, but the person coming up wants something too. You know what I'm saying? Or the person that the person using to come up on wants something, like, you gonna give me this bag? Or it gotta be something. Everybody supposed to be doing something for each other.
Money, a lot of people, guys that got money, that don't be enough for them. They want to be noticed. They want to be noticed.
Facts. Good morning, bro.
I believe Tony said he held back giving his people to come up to the show. So basically, Wallow and Gilly felt a way about him waiting to give up his people. I don't understand.
I do. He was telling them basically that he had all the connections.
Tony was crying about Jay Morrison too. He just
so basically let's say Tony already had money. He was already like self-made type nigga, right? And so he had a lot of connects. Like he was saying that Me and Oliver the Gang was them two at first, but he was the person that had all the connects to people that he had the plugs. Like niggas would pay Gilly and them 50 bands to come up there, or he knew how to get them paid, or people that had money that wanted to be seen or needed exposure. Because like you said, rich having money ain't it. Niggas got money, but now niggas want to be seen. They don't just want to have money, they want to be seen, like rappers and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And even though a lot of times rap niggas ain't got no money and shit. You know what I'm saying? So understand it. So Tony had the connections. Once they get your connections, they gonna use you, just like in the studio. At the end of the day, if you teach a nigga everything you know, he gonna get over on you. You know what I'm saying? It's just the game, you know what I'm saying? Just how this shit is. And so it's predatorial. That's this first conversation.
He don't have that hard. He don't have that rough edge that Philly guys normally got. When I see him kind of like, when I heard him say, I thought y'all was my friends and all that shit, that don't sound like Philly. It don't.
Nigga said, I thought you
he
was my
sounded
friend.
hurt. He did, man.
So think about that shit. Think about what he just said. So I'm gonna compare this to North Carolina, New Jersey, New York, Philly, LA. He said, bro, Tony the Closer was born in Philly but grew up in North Carolina. He said, man, I knew when he said certain things that I knew that he wasn't from here. You know what I'm saying? Shut the fuck up, man. I knew that he won't. That he said he knew that he wasn't from here. You know what I'm saying? And the issue with this whole situation is, he said that he knew that he didn't have, and he was telling the truth. Like, when he said, man, I thought y'all was my friends, he was like, he knew he ain't understand. So, in today's time, as if you treat street niggas like they your friends, you making a mistake. You feel me? If you treat motherfuckers you meet in business like rap niggas, you know what I'm saying, producers and shit, if you start treating these niggas like they your friends, you making mistakes. Now, I'm not saying that you ain't gonna have no friends in this business or not meet genuine people. You can meet genuine people. But understand, it's very few. You know what I'm saying? You either a destination to somewhere for some niggas, or you a way back in to some niggas. Or you an opportunity to some people. You know what I'm saying? You so focused on the arts. So if in Raleigh, North Carolina, or North Carolina in general, and New Jersey and Philly and Cali and DC, if all these places, if a man be like, man, I thought y'all was my friend, if that's the true logic, and it is, when it come down, especially like Philly, New Jersey, New York, like friends, like nigga, we cutthroat over here, nigga. Fuck is you talking about friends? So not just in the music business, but if you a real motherfucker in the music business, in the work field, in real life, you gonna get preyed upon. You know what I'm saying? The industry, like bro was saying, the industry is designed, rather if it's podcast, it's designed, it's a cutthroat business. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm a genuine nigga overall. Like a lot of people like call me crazy, but it's because you can't run game on me. I'm a really, then they be like, bro, I can't fuck with bro because they see my other side. But in reality, I understand it's a predatorial game. So, good morning, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of shit. Let me read this. It's a lot of things that just not, it's not for the genuine minds. You got to prepare yourself for this. It says, you're right, bro. If you're righteous, may not be the best game to play. I think about this yearly. The higher I ascend, at some point your character will be tested. Oh, yeah, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you commenting and giving that up. You know what I'm saying? Because in this, that's what I think the thing that hurt me the most. And I always tell people publicly when I'm talking to everybody, I came in this shit with with a genuine heart, even coming in out the streets, like, you know what I'm saying, like, yo, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna put my niggas on when I get right, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. You know the foundation and guideline that they put in our mind, like, you know, they taught us when we was younger, being real is making sure that you making and taking care of everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, be realistic, like be honorable about shit. If you tell somebody that's your word, you gonna do it, they gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Or you do it. Or if you tell somebody that, you know what I'm saying, y'all work together, y'all gonna work together. Or, oh, bro, I'm gonna send you this beat, you my man. Like, it's just not that type of business. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that it can't be. It's just not. So when I heard Gully TV is what I'm playing, when he say that, I didn't disagree with him. It's just like, even in the streets, like, niggas that you think your friends, when shit go left, when you be like, man, I thought these niggas were my friends and they shot you or do shit to you, it's like, that's not the logic no more in our community. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what business, friendship don't exist really. You know what I'm saying? And you very few people are your real friends, and a lot of times we fucking over our real friends to go hang out with the predators.
It be guys that be involved with this shit who are real sincere and they have no idea about the shark infested water that they're in. Tony seems like that type.
He said it'd be real sincere guys who get in this business and don't understand the water that they in. Let me explain the water in hip hop. Oh, you a dope rapper and you think you about to make beats and do this by yourself? Fuck you, you blackball. You know what I'm saying? If you think that you can step above the hierarchy of places and ascend above the structure that niggas put, it's a problem. If they can't stop your growth, because if they can't stop you because like they can block you from getting in the studios, but if you can learn the craft, they can't. They can never block you from your art because you in control of that. They can just stop you from getting it out. You know what I'm saying? In the business, you can have the art, the studio. Let's say the studio not the problem and the art not the problem. You getting good sound and good music, but you don't want to go out here and sit amongst niggas and smile and play fake. And what I mean by playing fake, not meaning that you can't get along with people, but like it's certain shit that you just not about. We all different. And so in this pack mentality, because hip-hop has turned into a pack mentality culture, where before it was more about the expression, it was different cliques always, but it was like, you know, artists had their own expression. Now it's like we all just sharing the same expression. Let's finish what Gully talking about.
He said, yeah, Jeezy wanted to be noticed, he said. He can scale without the text. I don't know. Not standing on the internet crying. That ain't gonna get it. That ain't.
See, another thing too, and I bring this to y'all because, all right, so in this situation, in a culture where men are raised to not have emotion, that's the first mistake, right? That's what fucked them up as fathers, as men, you know what I'm saying, as husbands, as brothers. So just like it translates over in everything we do. So like he said, bro, getting on the internet crying ain't gonna do nothing about it. I don't disagree with him all the way. But frustration sometimes, people gotta have an avenue and a platform to express themselves so that they're not mad. Like years ago when I got mad, like 7 years ago, it was like, yo, da-da-da, all these lists, da-da-da-da, I was upset. It's an avenue. There's nothing wrong with being upset, especially when you putting in work and you genuine and you actually did the work that come with it. You know what I'm saying? Or feel like it's that. So, but as men, we have been conditioned to look at other men who who say, man, this wrong. Like, man, stop crying, man. Yo, man, this shit for the man, you bitch ass nigga, man. Right? We conditioned that way. Right? But we don't have, like, to be conditioned the way doesn't mean that we have to stay in the condition. The condition is something that you can change. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, for example, we'll give it a better term. A problem first starts off as the weather. The weather is like, what's the weather today? You know what I'm saying? If this weather stays the same for a consistent time, it becomes the climate. Like if this is what it stays, you know what I'm saying, for a minute, it becomes the climate. It's just the weather at first. You got to keep doing shit to turn it into a climate. So understand what I'm telling y'all this morning. If you a genuine hearted motherfucker, this business, the first thing you need to understand is that none of this shit around you is for you. If you coming in here and you being honorable and you know what I'm saying, you in business, I'm not telling you not to be. But understand that people around you not gonna be honorable. Fuck their word. Niggas tell you, yo, that's my word, I got you, bro. When it's time, like, fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? Make that shit, if you know your people, so if you got some honorable motherfuckers around you, you know if you got some honorable people. But at the same time, when money come into play, I want y'all to always remember that you don't know people until niggas start getting rich. You know what I'm saying? So understand, everywhere feels like this. Let's keep going.
He said he wanted to cry, girl. You must have lost a big bag. When he found out that his friends, he said, I thought they were my friends, they weren't reciprocating the same energy. He became upset.
Let's talk about that.
You got.
All right, so when your friends, us the genuine people, when you genuine, after a while, as you get older, you start realizing that you're not getting that same energy back from people, right? See, that's what this is what this is about. When you give out, you're giving, you constantly giving, you giving out energy, you giving out, you know what I'm saying? And then you realize that you're not getting that same energy back. And so people be like, bro, you emotional, or yo, you tripping, sis, yo, you in your feelings. See, that you in your feelings has always been a way to deflect the responsibility of what motherfuckers have done to you, or the foul shit that motherfuckers say to you, right? A lot of motherfuckers want to be able to express themselves, but they scared to be judged because they got to hold up some image, because they ain't really gangster in themselves and they spirit in themselves, so they can't really stand for that.
You got to be self-made, man. That's just it. Period. Stop looking for a come up. Stop trying to attach yourself to people and shit. I don't even understand why. I don't understand. I don't.
He said, I don't understand.
If they did something to you and you got your own money, go on about your way, man. Go on about your way. He said, some niggas just sensitive. I got DJ Academics beating blood out of sugary wrist meat. Academics is pressing the envelope in regards to this media thing. He does some shit that it just ain't right. He said something in regards to a Chicago artist sliding on somebody. That's beyond instigating, especially with somebody who got a following like him. That just makes no sense at all. And
that's why a lot of people blame academics for this shit. Let's skip up. But I wanted to bring this to you. This was Gully TV talking about the beat, but just the logic of it is what I wanted to bring to y'all this morning for part one, in the aspect of understanding that being genuine today will get you fucked up and fucked over. So my main advice, be protected with your art and the shit that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Stand firm on what you stand on, and regardless of what people say or do about it, stick to it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, success is what you make out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like academic said the other day, these numbers, these streaming numbers is like bullshit for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of, if I go on Spotify on my phone and I play and I try to play one of my CDs, like I say, let me play my album riding in the car. I press play. I get like a song or two played, and then all of a sudden it'll play 3 motherfucking songs who just came out. So that means that they're paying Spotify and these other platforms, like, even though you're not asking to listen to that shit, if you keep it playing, you want to hear 14 songs. You want to hear, you end up hearing 30 songs by the time you heard the 14 songs, and they done put in there a couple other, like they done put in there another just as many songs you want to listen to of other people's music. That's what the streaming sites are doing today, right? Then they're making it weird. They're closing the gap on us when it comes down to this. When it comes down to being self-made. So being, like he said, you have to be self-made today because too many people are playing for self in this business of life, right? So you have to be self-made, but being self-made, it would have been easy if you started this about 5-6 years ago. You'd be in a good spot, right? To be self-made. You got to start now to be self-made in the future. Right now, Facebook, they closed the window. The window was, like 3 years ago, the window was about as wide as my apartment. The window this year got closed about this much. It's very little. They don't want music videos. They only want you to do snippets. You know what I'm saying? Facebook don't want to pay you no more. You know what I'm saying? Facebook had to pay niggas who was monetizing and getting shit on. You know what I mean? Now, hold on one second. Hold on one quick second because I'm going to paste this convo topic in the chat so y'all can see where I'm going. If y'all give me a second. Let's place this in the chat. Alright, boom. It should be in the building. It should be in the eye. So it's crazy. Let's see how long. If you're about to tell me how long the delay is when I be talking, I notice when I'm live that there is a delay. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna go to the second point. And my second point, which is the main meat of this conversation today, is why men are responsible for the downfall of the women in their community, right? Because I know y'all hear me a lot of times talk about, you know what I'm saying, I'm always talking to the women. I'm one of the people that I always go head first, you know what I'm saying, go straight at them like, and get there. But I'm going to explain to y'all this morning why us as men, in our role, we play in this insecurity of the woman and the things that we do as well, right? I'm trying to figure out why my joint is geeking. All right, one. When it comes down to the women, as much as when I talk to women, it's like me thinking I realized that it really is. Black men do play a role in this. If as men we got women who, when they go and they do the things, when they come to us or they want to get their breasts done or when they want to get these things, and we just say, oh yeah, babe, go ahead, da da da, and we don't say anything, and we don't even say anything. We don't encourage them that we like real shit, right? Because the convo that we at now is that how is it a man's fault? And I want y'all to comment who come in these feeds. This is why it's men's fault for women's self-esteem, hair, fake boobs, fake ass. When our women come to us, whether if it's our daughters, our wives, our sisters, our mothers, our grandmothers, right? When they come to us, especially when they're our wives, our women, and they ask us and they say they want to do this and they talk to us, why don't we say anything to our women? We just say, okay, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, go ahead. If that's what make you happy, it's whatever. If we don't express to women as men that we like real shit or that we like these things and we can't get mad that women ain't walking around with real shit. If we just in love with the fantasy that they trying to live too, then we're just as fucked up and fantasizing as they are, because men want fantasy too. Now men, we might, you know, we say women want to live in a fantasy. We want the fantasy too, but we don't want to live in a fantasy. But when we in them, we want them to be a fantasy. You know what I'm saying? But we forgot to tell the women that we want them to be our fantasy when it's time to play fantasy. But we need them to be real with us too. So as men, it is our fault. Because I know y'all hear me talk about the women about their fake hair, they fake nails spiritually. But if we're not going to tell them as men that, you know, I think you look pretty with that, but you know, I think you should. If we not willing to have a conversation that might get us yelled at or cussed out with our women, then it's our fault. Because if all the women lately just hit me and say, yo, we wear the shit to look good for y'all. We wear the shit to look good for y'all. We feel like if we ain't got big ass, big titties, da da da, that ain't nobody gonna look at us, right? So what is the man's role in this? And that's the question that we gotta ask. What is a man's role in a woman feeling beautiful? right? Because just like how clearly they looking for us the justification. So when do we get them the right answer instead of giving them the wrong answer so that we can get in their drawers, or so that we can, you know what I'm saying, get them to be a way that benefit us, you know what I'm saying? Because clearly, as much as they got power, they still looking for our acceptance and our acknowledgement. Just like as men, we still looking for their acknowledgement in a lot of ways. And it's weird, and it's weird, but it's funny that men and women looking for the same thing and don't know it. So as men, if we gonna just sit there and let this happen and not challenge them and not even talk to them about what they're doing, it is our fault as men. If as men we're not going to, when she tell us that she want to get her ass done and we her dude and we don't go to her and we don't speak to her about it, and rather if you her man, her husband, her father, or her brother, if you her brother and you see her man can't get to her, or you her peoples and you see that, you know what I'm saying, or you her father and you see somebody trying and you just gonna sit there, you the problem. Hold on, y'all. You the problem. You know what I'm saying? If you see, my fault, y'all, I had to turn something on. If you see that, if you around and you watching your sister fail while she messing with her nigga and you can change it, as men, when are we gonna step up? You know what I'm saying? Because even though women scream all this shit, deep down inside, all the women I talk to, when we get to the bottom of the conversation, they looking for a man to lead them. So even though they play independent and don't want no nigga, the way that they like that, they really looking for a man to come through. Like women, they're really looking for, deep down inside, I must say they don't, for a man to come through with their shit together, with their mind right, check their silly shit, put them on the right path. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times arguing, they be like, well, with a man, that a man supposed to come in and put me, like, we got to understand this. If we in love with the fantasy, the fake titties, the fake ass, the fake hair, you feel me? Then she gonna go out her way to go be that. You know what I'm saying? And since she gonna go out her way to go be that and all we doing is acknowledging it, then we the problem. That's the point. If the men, as men, if we keep feeding the fake shit, right? Then she gonna keep going out here to be fake because she think that's what we want. And that's what I realized. Through all this last week, only thing I did was get calls and texts from people about it like, yo, I don't disagree with you completely, or I do or I don't. And that's cool. That means that I did my job. That means people talking, people thinking, right? But as men, it's us. And then we just dealing with us. We cowards. We more worried about her being in her happy state than we are worried about helping her. We more worried about keeping her in a fucked up state of mind so that we could get shit from her, keep her freaky, keep her doing shit that's beneath her nature because it benefit us. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no problems with our girl. We want our girls to kind of be like the strippers. So, yeah, we ain't going, you know what I mean? And that's cool. You strip for your nigga, that's your business. You know what I'm saying? But when we gonna step up and say something right? So at the end of the day, today, and that's what my conversation say that it is, as men, as the so-called leaders that we scream to be, we keep talking about we kings. We keep talking about like, yo, I'm the man, we doing A, B, C, and D. Don't disrespect. But what we standing up for? Not shit. Not shit. You know what I'm saying? We have to be able to hold accountability on our own end and sit down and say, all right, boom. If this is the problem with our women, then let's make a stand and let's collectively make a whole, as a whole, or as much as us can, start pushing it. The real motherfuckers, push it to your woman. Let her know that you love her for her real shit, that you fuck with her for her real shit, even if she was even if her hair down ain't as long as all the way down her back. You know what I'm saying? Let her know that y'all gonna do this shit together. Like she gonna work on her hair and you compliment her. Keep her on her shit. Let her know when she's slacking. Like, you know what? Yo, lately you've been on your hair. Your shit be looking real nice. Don't let up. You know what I'm saying? I like when you look like that. Give her something to give her some pep in her step or whatever. But as long as we not gonna deal with it, what's happening right now is that as men, we just gonna get mad and argue with niggas like me about it when we gotta be, instead of being mad as men, let's be accountable. You know what I'm saying? Because all I hear, men, we get mad at women because we say they're not accountable for when we come to holler, then they're not accountable. So when we gonna show them the lead and show them what accountability is, saying, all right, so our women lost, we partially responsible because our women watched us the last 20 years, put the rap videos and the video vixens above the house. They watched us put the strippers and you know what I'm saying, and the motherfuckers selling their body and shit like that above the women in the house that was like our wives. So that's the reason. This fake shit, why women running around, the man's responsibility is that, yeah, she running around trying to look like the strippers and the girls and the videos and shit because she watched the men sit back and say, damn, we all stopped trying to be engineers and shit. We all wanted to be rappers. We all wanted to hang out with the pretty girls. We didn't want to work hard. And the girl said, well, fuck that. If the men gonna go be rappers and make all this money from not working hard, at least that's how they feel from running around from the lifestyle the videos look, then shit, we gonna be them girls that's not working hard too, who gonna go get this money, shit, since it's an avenue, you know what I'm saying? So my generation decided that we was gonna spend more time trying to live the fantasy of the rapper or the fantasy of the stripper, more importantly than being mom, being dad, being, you know what I'm saying, being there for the rest of us. So yeah, she out of pocket, and and regardless of what anybody say, she is misled. And even if she bought it, even if she paid for it, even if she worked for it, even if it was her money she saved to get that ass or whatever the case, she doing it because she's trying to fit an image in her mind that she feel like men want, right? And that's the key to insecurity, right? Now, everybody that do their hair would tell me at the end, I'm not saying, or whatever, your boobs, some people say, no, I just want a bigger boobs. You know what I'm saying? Cool. You know what I'm saying? But let's say you fall in love with your husband who's going to ask you these questions, a man that really love you, going to say, well, why did you get this done? Is it because you had smaller boobs? Or because, and they say, well, no, it's because I just want a bigger one because it's what you wanted. Now, men, this is where we're not responsible. We can still go to a woman and say, look, I want you to be natural. But if she's not comfortable with herself or not at a place in life where she wants to make the step, then it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Then you're going to be looked at as a hater. Vice versa. You know what I mean? So it's something about maturity that people got to grow up to and got to want to grow up to at the end of the day. So that's why I've been consistent coming up here every morning. As men, put your foot down if you're a man. You're not a man. You're a little boy if you let your woman do whatever and do whatever and you're not trying to get her to where she's supposed to be. You're not a man if you're not trying to get your woman past her princess stage to her grown woman stage where y'all should be focusing on trying to get the kids past that shit. But if mama and daddy on superficial, materialistic, Balenciaga, fake ass, fake titties, strip club, shit like that, then how the fuck can y'all grow y'all kids up? You know what I'm saying? BH. I ain't gonna waste my time.